For years, the moon was framed as either a dead rock we finished exploring decades ago, or the future site of a sprawling glass-domed city. The next 30 years will look like neither of those. Instead, humanity is building a permanently active, heavily robotic frontier. It will be harsh, it will be highly contested, and it will be driven by industrial infrastructure. Almost all of this new activity is pointed at exactly one region, the lunar South Pole. This map highlights why. At the bottom of the moon, there are deep craters trapped in permanent shadow that may hold usable water ice, sitting right next to elevated ridges that receive nearly constant sunlight for solar power. That combination of water and light makes this real estate incredibly scarce. There are only a few specific ridges that offer both, turning the terrain itself into a major geopolitical bottleneck. This new space race is about building and controlling the foundational operating system, the physical roads and data links that all future deep space exploration will depend on. To build that infrastructure, we have to send machines first. The first layer of the lunar economy relies on uncrewed robotic landers, and they are arriving right now to map the terrain, drill into the regolith, and test landing precision. We are already seeing this hardware succeed. In August 2023, India's Chandrayaan-3 achieved a historic soft landing near the South Pole. Months later, Japan's SLIM mission proved that pinpoint, highly accurate automated landings are possible. But surface robots cannot function without an orbital network above them. The European Space Agency is developing the Moonlight program. Moonlight is a planned constellation of lunar satellites designed to provide dedicated navigation and communication services, essentially acting as a local GPS and Wi-Fi network for the moon. Until those relay satellites and cargo landers are fully operational, human crews cannot safely survive or navigate the lunar surface. The machines have to finish the prep work. When astronauts do return, they will not be there to build habitats by hand. Humans are expensive and vulnerable, so they will be reserved for tasks robots still struggle with: conducting field geology, performing complex repairs, and assembling sensitive scientific equipment. Two distinct geopolitical coalitions are currently organizing these human missions. The United States leads the Artemis framework, while China is organizing an overlapping network called the International Lunar Research Station, or ILRS. Following a revised architecture announced by NASA in early 2026, the Artemis program is currently targeting early 2028 for its first human lunar landing. China has its own stated goal of landing astronauts on the moon before 2030. While the US and China lead these efforts, middle powers are securing their own influence by building indispensable hardware. Japan is developing a specialized pressurized rover for the Artemis surface missions, and the United Arab Emirates is providing the critical crew airlock for Gateway, the planned space station in lunar orbit. Long-term influence belongs to whichever coalition builds the technical standards, the airlocks, rovers, and power grids that the rest of the world is forced to adopt. Alongside these government programs, there is a highly aggressive, maximalist vision for lunar settlement championed by Elon Musk. His company, SpaceX, aims to use its giant, fully reusable Starship rockets to deliver massive cargo loads and construct a permanent moon base incredibly fast. But there is a wide gap between visionary rhetoric and deep space physics. A March 2026 audit by NASA's Office of Inspector General, an independent watchdog agency that evaluates government programs, warned of severe schedule risks and pointed out that current plans lack the capability to rescue a stranded crew. This flowchart outlines the logistical bottleneck of orbital refueling. To get a single Starship lander to the moon, the vehicle must first dock with a storage depot in Earth orbit, which then requires a chain of more than 10 separate tanker launches just to fill the lander's tanks. Once on the surface, the physical hazards are brutal. Hardware faces highly abrasive, toxic lunar dust that shreds seals and gears, wild temperature swings between day and night, and constant radiation exposure. Heavy-lift rockets absolutely expand what is possible to launch from Earth, but the strict physics of surviving the lunar environment dictate that building a base will remain a slow, intermittent, and highly dangerous process. So, will there be a permanent lunar base in the next 30 years? Yes. By the 2040s or 2050s, we will likely have outposts on the moon, but they will look nothing like a sprawling, self-sustaining sci-fi city. The most realistic South Pole base will look a lot more like a research station in Antarctica. It will be a heavily industrial, modular outpost made up of pre-landed cargo caches, vast solar power grids, and tight, highly compact habitats. Any resources extracted there will stay there. Operations that mine water ice or pull oxygen from the dirt will do so strictly to keep local crews alive and refuel outbound ships. There is no realistic economic model for shipping bulk lunar dirt back to Earth for profit. For the humans involved, this is an industrial expedition. Small crews of highly trained specialists will arrive for brief seasonal rotations, stepping into a harsh environment that is maintained year-round by teleoperated robots. The next 30 years turn the moon into a grueling classroom, where humans finally learn the industrial logistics required to operate a frontier in deep space.